Do you guys remember, probably not that long ago, when $100 felt like kind of a lot of money?
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Yeah, me too. Well, unfortunately, being a whiskey head or a bourbon junkie or a whiskey snob or whiskey enthusiast, right? It's an expensive hobby, right? It eats up a lot of money. And if you've got kids, you got a family, you got other responsibilities, oftentimes the first thing to get cut into is your play money, your whiskey budget. But $100 just kind of gets you not as much as it used to in the whiskey world. So I put together a list of, give or take, 9 bottles that I think you should be buying right around that $100 price mark. Roll that intro. Welcome back to T-Rod Whiskey. Appreciate you stopping by the channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new, also welcome, I guess. But regardless, please hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell notification so you can find out every time I drop a new video, because, you know, the cool kids are doing it and stuff. So today we are going to look at a group of bottles. We're going to look at 9 of them to be specific, that are going to come in right under that $100 price point. You know, when I first got into bourbon, $50 was kind of that mid-tier price point. Like $50 to $65 was mid-tier. Now it feels like anything under $50, $55 is considered budget or value, whatever you like to say. And then anything under $100 is really kind of that mid-tier bottle, with a lot of the top tier stuff being $100 to $150, maybe even $200. And ultra premium used to mean like 200-ish and then some. And now I feel like ultra premium bottles, like maybe some of the new Calumets or, I mean, they're all coming in at like $250, $300 to start, $400, $500 for a bottle of whiskey. I mean, that's not even secondary, it's MSRP. I mean, get out of here, man, get a job. That's just way too much. So we're gonna look at these 9 different bottles. Some of them are bourbon, most of them are bourbon. We got a couple of ryes in here, I think. We even got a surprise. But they should all come in right at or under that $100 price mark. But first one, let's go ahead and we'll start here. This is the Keeper's Heart Wood Finishing Series from Maker's Mark. Now, for those of you who are in the know, this one actually finished above the Maker's Mark Cellar Aged for 2024, which is pretty big praise, because like Cellar's Aged is like the pinnacle, like the very top of what Maker's Mark is supposed to put out. Now, I've never had Cellar's Aged, but I gotta believe that if other people are saying this, that there's got to be some little semblance of truth to it. I think this is delicious, enough so that I went out and bought a backup of it the day after I tried this one. And for me to go buy a backup is saying something, because space in the speakeasy here, it's at a premium. So if I'm going to take up shelf space with a redundant bottle, it better be a good one. And this one is very good. This is a very fine example of what Maker's Mark does, what they can put together, what they can do with their wood finishing. I know they have another unique one that's coming out this year that is like a blend of wheat whiskey and wheated bourbon that I just can't wait to see. But definitely going to try the 2025 release of this, but the Keeper's release, the Heart release, sorry, the Keeper's release is 2025. The Heart release, if you see this, don't hesitate, pick it up. Oh, and I think it comes in around like $80, $85, I think. The next one, I'm not entirely sure how much this goes for. I think this is right around $75, but this is the Smokey Hill Barrel Proof Blue Corn. So this is the one that got all the hype because Fred Minnick said that it was better than George T. Stagg, or rather it beat George T. Stagg in a blind tasting, which I wasn't there. I've not had that particular George T. Stagg, and I don't know if I don't believe this barrel is from that same one, but it doesn't matter. I did a blind comparison of Stagg Jr. versus this, and I found this to actually be better for my palate. So if you guys live in a state where Smoky Hill is available, I think they started making it with a 5-year age statement. I would definitely keep one of these on deck at all times, especially for the price point. I mean, this has like an iron cork to it, but I mean, it doesn't really seat very well, which is kind of concerning, but maybe I have to fix that because I shouldn't be able to just lift a cork out. That's very dry. So, okay. But regardless, it was very, very good off the fresh crack. Probably going to need to get a new cork in here soon, just to avoid any spoilage or anything. But if you guys have access to these, definitely grab one. They're very good. It's blue corn. And yes, before the haters get here, I'm aware that it was distilled by MGP. However, it doesn't have a traditional MGP mash bill. And currently, MGP doesn't make any of their own stuff with blue corn. That makes this contract distilled. So stick that up your patootie. All right, next up, taking it right to the limit. Jack Daniel's American Single Malt Oloroso Sherry Cask Finish. So Jack Daniel's decided they were going to display some of their distilling range with this release. And there was a heritage bottle that was similar to this, but I think it was a little bit higher proof. But this stuff is actually very good for an American single malt. It is finished in new charred white oak barrels and then also finished in Oloroso Sherry casks. For me, this thing is like a Tootsie Roll with like liqueured cherries, like, the little dark cherries that you get for like making an old fashioned. Like a blend of the two is kind of what this is for me. Now, this does come in at the very, very, very tip top of our price range at $99.99, and to my knowledge is only available at select duty-free outlets throughout the country. I am fortunate enough that I do live by one of those duty-frees or within a reasonable driving distance, and I was able to secure one of these for myself and for a fellow whiskey lover, specifically a very, very devout Jack Daniel's fan. Darren, if you're watching this, you owe me. But I think it's really good. I think it's a great expression. I think it's nice to see Jack Daniel's do something in a different direction. I know a lot of their Tennessee tasters are very kind of out there with like different looks, and they got like the sweet and oaky or the sweet and spicy or whatever. Those are great too. But this is a very large step in kind of a different direction for them. And I think it's a home run. I like it. You get a liter for $100, 90 proof, not bad. You get a secondary finishing cask. Presentation is fantastic. And it's not like they just put it in an old number 7 bottle, that was a 1 liter size. Like, this is its own glass, its own presentation. It's good. I like it. The blue and the, what is that, magenta? Like, really kind of pops. Next up, this is a Michigan distillery, but this is the Dragon's Milk Origin Toasted Barrel. Now, these are sold in single barrels. I think they come in right around, I think I paid $85 for this one, and these are fantastic, guys. These are some of the best whiskeys coming out of Michigan right now. Obviously, I have a huge, huge place in my heart for the Mayor Pingree varietals, but the Dragon's Milk is fantastic. If I could ever get my hands on my own bottle of a Dragon's Milk 10, I would be a very happy little boy. That would be a huge item marked off of my wish list. I believe that it's only available intermittently, and when it is, it's at the tasting rooms, and I don't ever really get to Grand Rapids, so I'm out of luck. But this one is fantastic. It's got toasted oak notes. There's some tropical fruits going on there, but layered with like some classical bourbon notes. It's very, very unique. It's got an awesome shelf presentation. It's got the dragon scales coming off the shoulder of the bottle. It's cool. It's fantastic. It's uncut, finished in toasted barrels, 120.6 proof. I mean, you can kind of see there's like a ghost etching of a dragon in the front there. It's very nice. Fantastic. Can't say enough good things about these bottles. Next up, and this is probably the cheapest one on our list, the new Rift Balboa Rye. And I know I'm reaching on this one, on this list a little bit because it's the cheapest. When I bought this was still coming in right around $70 in the state. I guess that has gotten a little bit cheaper because now it's more of a widespread release, but it's awesome. It's fantastic. New Rift made this with a heritage grain Balboa rye that is just unlike most other rye sitting on the shelf. Now it's readily available. They actually dropped the price from what I understand. At least in the state of Michigan, the price came down. I can walk into a handful of liquor stores today and probably grab one of these. I know Total Wine has had them sitting on the shelves by me for months now, if not years. So they've become a lot more available. This one does have a 4-year age statement, 95% Balboa Rye, 5% malted rye. So it is a 100% rye mash bill, which I very much like, but it's just got a sweet, spicy flavor to it that I just, I really like it. So pick that one up if you're working on the bottom end of this list. Got 4 more. Another Michigan distillery, Grand Traverse. This is the Old George cask strength single barrel, but it has the gold foil on it. This is a distiller's pick, and these are about $85 when you can come across them. Now, unfortunately, they did lose their master distiller to cancer about 2 years ago, I think, maybe been even a little bit longer than that. And it is very sad. He was young, but he was making some fantastic stuff, laying down some amazing barrels right up until he unfortunately succumbed to his disease. But these are amazing. They're absolutely amazing. 100% rye. This one comes in at 125.3 proof. It's really good. Michigan grown grains, just fantastic. I haven't actually gotten into this one in a while, but I need to. I need to actually dust some of my bottles, it looks like. The problem with having 1,000 bottles is you can only drink so many so fast, right? But yeah, Grand Traverse, specifically the Distillers Select. Look out for those. Next up is from Glenns Creek. This is the OCD number 5. So here in Michigan, I don't even think these are distributed anymore. So you got to really hunt to try and find a couple of these. And I did find a honey hole where there were 2 of them. I paid about $84.99 for this, but this thing and it's young. It is very young. I don't even remember. It says here. So it says aged at least 2 years, but look at how dark that is for 2-year-old whiskey. That is fantastic. It is like stewed red fruits, dark cherries and raisins and oak. And it's just really, really good, really unique. 125 proof. This is barrel number 36, if you can believe that. So that's a pretty low number. I know Glenns Creek isn't kicking out a ton of barrels right now, and I know they were hit by the flooding in Frankfurt. Hopefully nothing too detrimental happened down there, but all the offerings I've had from Glenns Creek have actually knocked it out of the park. I've really only had 2. There's this one, and then I think the other one's like the Stave and Oak or something, but that was also really good. I think the presentation is really cool. I mean, OCD number 5, I don't know what it means, but I think that's part of the allure. One day when I get down there to take a tour, I will definitely find out. But it sits on the shelf. The picture kind of jumps out at you. I'm not really sure if that's a ship. I think maybe a boat on there. I don't know. But very cool. Very, very tasty whiskey. Very glad to have one of these in the speakeasy. Second to last, Buzzards Roost Cigar Rye. This is one of my favorite ryes. If you guys have been watching the channel for a while, if you have been watching the Instagram, you will know that I absolutely adore the cigar rye from Buzzards Roost. I know that due to some FDA complications or whatever, the legal definitioning and stuff, I don't know if cigar rye is going to be happening anymore. This is a batch 2. I do have a batch 3, but I think they're absolutely fantastic. I get actual heavy tobacco notes out of this, and like there's like a French vanilla note that comes with it, and some oak, and just a drizzle of like liquid vanilla that it all just works really, really well together for my palate. I think this is fantastic. I try to go to this sparingly because batch 2 was fantastic for me. I don't know how good batch 3 is. I'm hoping it's really, really good. I hope they get to continue making it this way because I think it is amazing, amazing whiskey. I know that Buzzards Roost is sourcing, but they're doing some finishing, and for me, it really makes all the difference in the world. The product they're putting out is absolutely amazing. I believe there's about $80. I would pay that all day for this bottle. This one comes in at 105 proof, so just at the bottom end of my sweet spot, but this is bottle 959 on batch 2. Absolutely love it. Went to the tasting room in Louisville last summer. Had a fantastic time. They gave us a tour on a whim because, like a dummy, I double booked my Saturday and showed up on a Friday thinking I had a tour that day. But they were very accommodating, very, very nice. Enjoyed the tasting thoroughly. And lastly on this list, shouldn't be a surprise, but it might be a shocker. Penelope single barrel 10-year. These guys are actually $90. $90, guys. Let that sink in for a second. For a 10-year single barrel of Penelope. Now, I get that not everybody's going to be able to pay that price. a lot of people had to pay a marked up secondary value. And especially this is a great one because this is the 36% rye. So there's two variations of this. I think there's a 24% and a 36% rye. This is the 36% rye, which has been fantastic. If you follow the bourbon junkies like I do, I know I'm a little bit of a fanboy, a little bit of a slappy. They said they've never had a bad bottle of the 36% mash bill. And I'm kind of inclined to agree, especially at 10 years old. I think it's amazing. And the fact that it's a single barrel means that I would gladly purchase more. The 9-year I think is like $10 cheaper and is also good, but I mean, this one is just, it's better. And it's $90. It was semi-findable. I know I came across 2 of these, maybe 3. I bought the one, didn't get into it right away, so I missed out, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would be owning a backup. But I think that this is an absolute banger of a bottle. I think it's really, really good. I think Penelope is killing it right now. Can't wait for more of their expressions to come out. I know it's MGP, but it's always been MGP, so really, Penelope hasn't changed. It's not really sourced anymore because it's their stuff. Let it go. But that is my list, guys. 9 bourbons or whiskeys that you can get for under $100 if you're trying to stretch that budget or maybe just get a good value for your $100. I think any one of the bottles we just talked about would be fantastic. But I appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you drop a comment down below and keep tuning in, guys. A lot of cool stuff happening. But until next time, cheers.